Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great. Our lesson today is Project Part 2 from Module 8. You can find this lesson in your Students Book page 97 and in your Workbook page 84. As always, let's start with the learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to design the first draft of a leaflet about Earth Day. Revise and edit the first draft. Design your final leaflet. Planet Earth is made up of elements such as rocks, soil, and wind. Just how these elements make up the world we live in, a good piece of writing is also made up of elements known as the writing process. In our lesson today, the elements of Earth will guide you on how to design a leaflet about Earth Day. Let's get started with the first step, which is pre-writing. In this step, you're thinking of your topic. In other words, you're brainstorming and organizing ideas. But before we start brainstorming, I'd like you to think about what is a leaflet. Perfect. It's a small flat or folded printed piece of paper that gives you information or advertise something. Now let's recall the basic features of a leaflet. Number 1. Use a large piece of paper or card. Number 2. Choose a special day to write about. Number 3. Write a title at the top in large letters. Number 4. Draw pictures and write sentences next to or under them. Number 5. Present it to the class. Remember to use conditional sentences type 0 and conditional sentences type 1. Let's start brainstorming ideas for your leaflet by answering questions in your workbook page 84. Now let's read the questions together. What's the title of your leaflet? How can we protect the trees in the environment? How can we save energy? How can we keep the planet clean? How can we create more oxygen on planet Earth? How can we protect the atmosphere? It's your turn now. Pause and answer. Now that you have a plan, let's move to the next step, which is drafting. In this step, you have to write your first draft. Remember to write complete sentences. Back again. Let's read your first draft together. Earth Day. If we consume less paper, we can save many trees. If we buy things made of recycled materials, the planet will be cleaner. If we learn the 3 Rs, the planet will be cleaner. If we use hybrid cars, we will save energy. If we use public transportation, we will save energy. If we don't stop polluting the oceans, oxygen production will decrease. If we stop spraying air fresheners, we won't pollute the atmosphere as much. Nice work, everyone. Having finished the drafting, let's move to the next step, which is revising. In this step, you have to read your first draft and make changes to improve it. As you all know, in order to revise, you have to use the DARE strategy. Let's recall what do the letters in this word stand for. The D stands for delete. Delete any unimportant information. The A stands for add. Add details and linking sentences. The R stands for rearrange. Stick to the topic and have a logical order. The E stands for exchange. Exchange words for stronger ones. Let's start revising. I'd like you to read and delete any unimportant information. Great! You don't have to delete anything. Let's move to the A and add some pictures. Nice work! Now let's see if you need to rearrange any of your sentences. Perfect! You've arranged your sentences correctly. Let's move to the E and see if we can exchange any word for a stronger one. Very good. You can use the word countless. Having finished revising, let's move to the next step, which is editing. In this step, you have to correct any spelling, punctuation, and organization mistakes. As you all know, to edit, you have to use the COPS strategy. Let's recall what do the letters in this word stand for. The C stands for capitalization. Capitalize proper nouns I and the first word in each sentence. The O stands for organization. Use neat handwriting, letter spacing, and complete sentences. The P stands for punctuation. Use punctuation marks. The S stands for spelling. Spell words correctly. Let's start editing. I need you to read to check if you need to capitalize the first letter of any word. Very good. You have to use the uppercase of the letter R because it's an acronym for reuse, reduce, recycle. Let's read one more time to check the organization. Super! You've organized your leaflet correctly. Let's move to the P and check the punctuation. Yes, you have to add apostrophes because you're using the contracted forms of the words do not and will not. Let's move to the S and check the spelling of the word consume. I need you to open a dictionary and check its spelling. You have to add a silent E at the end. Having finished editing, let's move to publishing. As you all know, in this step, you have to create a neat copy of your corrected writing. What a nice work! Having published your leaflet, it's time to give you some feedback about your writing. To do this, I'll be using the PMI strategy. In the P section, I will tell you what I like about your writing. In the M section, I will tell you if there is anything to be cautious about. In the I section, I will tell you what I think is interesting. I really liked how you followed the writing steps. Yes, using apostrophes. Using public transportation saves energy. As always, you were amazing today. Thank you so much. Bye.